Okay, looks like we're live on YouTube and live on Face Plant and Poison Ivy. And Ron and Linda are both here. Ushers, bring them down front. Bring them down front. Into the Strata Loungers. Bring them down, ushers. Bring them down. Put them in the Strata Loungers. Make them comfortable. Get them some cold drinks, but not from the concession stand. Please. Run next door to the commissary and get them some good cold drinks. And Kathy's here. Bring her down. Bring her down front. Put her right on the other side of Ron. That lucky guy always gets them two beautiful women right next to him. Unbelievable. Ron, you don't know how lucky you have it, buddy. Broadcasting live from the basement studio of WDWL TV. We bring you the pride of the station, the grumpy old man, me. And forget about idiot back here. Yeah. So, how is everybody doing? I hope the mic sounds all right. I putting it away last night. I knocked it out of the mount. Everything fell on the floor. So I hope the settings are okay. I forgot I didn't have it tight in the mount. I had just had it setting in there. Next thing I know, I go to put it away. Out it comes on the floor. So, I think I got the audio set where it was. If not, well. I can't win when it comes to these goddamn microphones, I'll tell you. Sounds good? Okay, thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Linda. All right, good. Well, it finally cooled off. Well, let's say the humidity finally came down. So I decide I'm going to take care of the exhaust on the shitbox. So, where the pipe broke, I had a muffler and a little resonator and a long section of pipe. So, I get them all off. I take my little muffler, my neat chrome glass pack, take it off, measure, make all the cuts, get the clamps, go to put everything together, and all right. The pipe coming down off the manifold is 2 1/4 OD. The glass pack I ordered, 2 1/4 OD. That's why it fit really nice. The rest of the pipe on the shitbox, 2-inch. So the muffler went right back in the place where it was. I had it cut perfect, right to where it would have exited about 6 inches in front of the rear wheel, which would have been great. No. Goofy Nissan has to go from 2 1/4 to 2 inch. So I cut all that goddamn pipe for nothing. So screw it. Even though it is making me deaf in one ear, it would have looked really neat. I had it all pieced together. That 4-inch trumpet on the end of that glass pack coming out right in front of the rear wheel. Oh well. You know, Kathy, if it weren't for fucking bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Had all the pipe cut perfect. Now, since I have the pipe cut, I can always go up to the muffler shop and tell the guy, hey, I need a piece of pipe bent like this at 2 1/4 OD. I just need this much pipe. So, I don't know, maybe I'll do that. What are they going to charge me? You know, $20 for... You'll probably go into the scrap can and grab a piece out and put a little bend in it and go, here you go. Yeah, everybody has their days. But, you know, I've been waiting for the humidity to come down. And today it was partly cloudy in the morning, so it was perfect. I jacked the truck up. I cut the section of muffler out. Cut the pipe. Test fit. The giveaway should have been when I was like, boy, this pipe is awful sloppy. Yeah, it's sloppy because it's the wrong size. Although the neat thing is, and I'm going to save it, Nissan used, it's like an 8-inch resonator. The tiniest resonator I have ever seen. It's cute. I'm trying to think of a way of using it. But it's not the right size. Now, what I could do, I have enough pipe, I could sleeve it. You know, cut a little section and make a slice in it, open it up, and put it around the pipe. You know, I could sleeve it. It just irritated me that everything all just didn't work. I only have to worry when I'm driving in Parma. Cleveland, I've gone past Cleveland police cars. They could give a shit. God, motorcycles are louder than the shitbox. So, I don't know. We'll see. The last time I went to Parma, I just was real gentle on the accelerator. Then once I got over the city limits, I don't know, since I've already got that piece of pipe cut, I'll just go, maybe I'll run up to the muffler shop. Oh, you know Parma, Kathy? Oh, them assholes. You know, when my son's car got totaled in Parma, me and the fucking police chief got into it. Because what they did, they were chasing a stolen pickup truck in rush hour. And they got to the intersection, Ridge and, what the hell was it, Ridge and, I know it was Ridge Road. I'm trying to think of the intersection. They're coming down Ridge Road, chasing this stolen pickup truck in rush hour traffic. The kid loses control, making a, was he making a left? Yeah. He makes a left turn, loses control of the truck, and hits 8 vehicles, totaling 6 out of the 8, and injuring 6 people over a goddamn old stolen pickup truck that the asshole owner left running with the key in it. And I says to the chief, in rush hour, you're chasing this truck? It wasn't like it was carjacked at gunpoint. No. The owner started the truck and went in to get her purse and her valise, and 2 teenage kids jump in. Wahoo! And they're barreling down Ridge Road in rush hour traffic, and the kid loses control. Injures 6 people, totaled 6 cars, one of which was my son's, and the insurance company for the truck refused to pay anything because their insured wasn't driving it. And the shame of the matter was, my son had this car 2 weeks. And it was the typical little old lady car. It was a 1990 Buick Park Avenue that she had to stop driving, that had been covered up in her garage for 5 years. And being a 1990, I I only put liability on it. Because, what the hell was it now? 5 years ago, 2020. Who is going to put full coverage on a 1990, even though the car was, oh God, it was gorgeous. And when he finally came to a stop, he had, like I say, he totaled 6 cars, including my son's, because as he hit one, he spun around, hit another one, spun around, hit another one, and he caught this Park Avenue right at the A-pillar, right at the door hinge. So, the car was totaled. And the thing that really pissed my kid off was he had just filled the tank. Filled the tank, pulled out of the gas station, and next thing you know, big accident. And I had called the chief and said, justify this goddamn high-speed pursuit during rush hour traffic. All they did was give me fucking double talk. I literally told the chief, I says, I know why they didn't call a pursuit off. Because the cops in Parma don't get in pursuits that often. And they were like, oh boy, we got a pursuit. Oh, we're going to chase this guy. Oh man, who gives a fuck? It's rush hour traffic. Oh, we're having fun chasing this guy. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, that's the way it was. Oh, me and that chief went round it. Oh. That pursuit should have never happened. During rush hour traffic, in one of the busiest goddamn streets in Parma. I want to say Ridge and Pearl, but that intersection don't sound right. And that's just the way I was with the chief, right in front of him. Here's your cops. Oh boy, pursuit! You ain't getting in front of me. Nope, I started this pursuit. You're number 2. You call it. Oh boy! Oh, whoa, we're going through rush hour traffic. Oh man! And the chief just looked at me like, holy shit, is this guy fucking insane? Meanwhile, the people that were waiting to talk to the chief were laughing their ass off behind me. Then when I got done, he was like, are you through, Mr. Grumpy? Well, I guess so. It's obvious you don't give a fuck. So, for a car that we paid $1,000 for, that he drove for 2 weeks, and had $35 worth of gas in the tank, we got $350 for scrap. And what I had found out, had I waited 10 more minutes, one of the local TV stations was there to film the meeting with the chief. And as I was pulling out of the parking lot, I saw them pulling in, and I had no idea that one of the people that were waiting to talk to the chief called the TV station. Oh, I'd look good on TV. I'd have made such an ass out of that chief on TV. But and the two kids were juveniles, and you know what they got? Don't do that again. On second thought, there, you get another one. That's what they got. Slap on the hands. Although I am sure Progressive is probably suing because out of the 6 cars that were totaled, they were insured 2 of them. And the people in the first 2 cars were really seriously hurt because they took the brunt of the collisions. Yeah, but you know, that's the way it is. And it wasn't his first stolen vehicle. That's what really pissed me off. It was the second one. That's why he got 2 slaps on the hand. I found out he was out of court before the officers that testified. Didn't even get probation. Nothing. I don't know. I quit talking to Progressive because basically, even though I was insured with Progressive, I only had liability on it. But I was following along for a bit. I don't know if they sued him and his parents. Figure 2 totaled cars, medical bills, was probably at least $150,000, if not more. Because the one, gee Christ, the first car had a temporary tag on it. The people only owned it a week and a half. Matter of fact, it was a 2021. Brand new. Total. And the second car was a 2019. And then I don't remember what the others were. Oh man, I had a stack of paperwork. I was getting all kinds of reports. And I spent so goddamn much money on reports Didn't do me much good. I mean, what was I going to sue the kid for? You know, $1,200? I remember. Talk about, I don't bring this up too often. Back when my son was really young and stupid, now he's old and stupid. He was 17. His buddy calls and says, "Hey, I need to go to work and pick up a company truck and run out to North Royalton. Can you follow me out?" My kid is always super helpful, was one of his friends. So they pull in, and he tells my kid, "Wait here. I'm going to come out the other driveway, and then then follow me out to North Royalton." So the kid comes out with a company truck, a Chevy van, out to North Royalton. They pull up to this gate around this outdoor storage facility. And on the way, the kid in the van picked up one of his friends. So now this is all like 11 o'clock at night. So they tell my dumbass kid, "Wait out here. We're going to go in, pick some stuff up, and you can help us load it in the van." Well, it's winter. He's got the heater on. He had worked all day. Got his music going, so he falls asleep. Next thing he knows, he's surrounded by North Royalton cops, knocking on the car. They drag him out of the car, handcuffs. I get a phone call, 3 in the morning. What? Well, his buddy steals the truck from this company. They go out to this storage facility in North Royalton, and he's stealing copper wire. The police surround. So one of them takes off and immediately gets caught. The other one jumps the fence, lands on this guy's boat, and tears the shit out of his canvas cover. Well, next thing you know, he gets caught. I get out to North Royalton Police Department. My son is charged with 6 felonies. He didn't even get out of the car. Guilt by association in Ohio. So, he goes through all the hearings, and the magistrate says, okay, you're going to pay restitution. Luckily, they split it 3 ways for the damage to the boat and the boat cover, and the damage to the truck for the peeled column. So, besides that, he also had to purchase 20 cases of food and deliver it to the food bank. So he had a part-time job. And I told him, I ain't paying this. You better start fucking saving your paychecks. So, comes the day before the final hearing. We deliver, I think we bought 25 cases because we got a deal. Deliver 25 cases to the food bank, get a receipt, deliver 1/3 of the restitution to the guy for his boat, which he bitched, oh, this is all I'm gonna get? Well, yeah, it's 1/3. The other 2/3 for the other 2 kids. The other 2 kids were adults. They were over 18. Of course, they both went to prison. The guy ain't never going to see the rest of his restitution, but I made my son pay every fucking cent. And he was on probation for a year. And luckily, he didn't violate no probation. I was on his ass for that whole year. At the end of the year, he got them 6 felonies expunged. And I told him, you see what kind of friends you had? I said, no more doing shit for friends. Well, you know, no. He had no idea he was driving his buddy to go steal a truck. And then, here's the best part. Where the truck was stolen, you know what the company was? The guy installed security camera systems for businesses and didn't have one on his own business. And so he sold some high-end security cameras and didn't have any on his own business. I laughed my ass off when I heard that one. Yeah, Kathy, so is age 40. He hasn't worked in a year. And you know whose roof he's living under. Yeah, it's interesting because what is he, a Gen Xer? I think he's Gen X. They say most of the Gen Xers ended up back with their parents. Collect no unemployment. I could not stand not to have a dime in my name. Oh, you know what I did, Linda? I told his mother, I'm not feeding him. I'm putting a roof over his head with heat, electricity. I'm not feeding him. So, Mommy takes him shopping every Friday. Yeah, don't you love that, Kathy? I had seen a couple of businesses with the camera systems he installed and didn't have one on his own goddamn company. I would have figured at least if you've got 10 vans and you don't have locking gates, wouldn't you put cameras in the back lot to watch your vans? No. I laughed my ass off. Because we had to deliver a 1/3 check to the guy to get, he had to get the peeled column replaced on the van. And I looked around and I said, what kind of business is this? Well, I install high-end security systems. Like what? Oh, cameras. Cameras, recording system. He said, you don't have one on your own building? But have a nice day. Showed me to the door. You would have thought it maybe at least one camera. Maybe one that he took down out of a customer's building, Well, I got these returned off a lease. What am I going to do with them? Gee, maybe put them on my own building? No. Even the magistrate laughed. Because my son brought it up. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Can't you keep your mouth shut? Yeah, court hearing's over. My kid. Can I say something? The magistrate, yes. Did you know where the van was stolen? The guy installed security cameras and didn't have one on his own building. And right about then I was like, time to go. I'm like, yeah, it's good to be honest, but geez, you just ducked a huge bullet. And that was a huge bullet. And believe me, I counted the days. When the probation was over, I went right to the court and I said, expungement? It's right here. I don't have to pay. All I have to do is say everything's been taken care of. I didn't need no attorney. No, it says right here. If probation completed successfully and restitution paid in full, expungement granted. And they did. Those records are sealed somewhere. And we don't ever want to see them again. You know, after I bailed his ass out, I said, how well do you know this kid? Oh, a couple of weeks. It was sad. He was so fucking gullible. He was the type he couldn't say no to anybody that asked him something. Oh, Linda, can you imagine him trying to get a job? It's bad enough he fucking quit school, so he got one strike against him. That one, he'd have been working for cash in a car wash somewhere. You know, I could see an employer overlook one felony. 6. Have a nice day, Mr. Grumpy Son. Don't bother calling us, and we won't be calling you. And you know, it never sunk in. To this day, he does not realize the bullet he dodged. And I had no idea Ohio had that guilt by association law. I mean, he was fucking sleeping in his car. The police had to wake him up to arrest him. They were like, what are you doing here? I'm waiting for my friends. Well, step out of the car. We're going to fit you for the same bracelets your two friends are wearing. Then getting that phone call. Hello, is this Mr. Grumpy? Yeah. Hang on a minute. You woke me up. Who is this? Detective Smith. You got the wrong number. Is your son Grumpy the Second? Yeah. Well, I think you ought to come out to the North Rutland Police Department. We're holding him on 6 felonies. What? Oh, man, was I instantly awake. Really? Yeah. And since I had sole custody of him after the divorce, I had to get my ass out of bed at 3 in the morning in the middle of January and drive out to North Rutland Police Department. It was a real silent ride all the way home. Because when he got in the car, I said, don't open your mouth. I don't even want to hear you breathe. I didn't have to turn the heater on in the car. The heat, I was just seething. And then you learn how much a towing company rips you off on a police impound. It was almost more than what the car was worth. I said, you only towed it like 3 blocks. It's a police impound. I wanted to pay them in singles, but I didn't want to piss them off. So after he got done paying his restitution, I made him pay his restitution to Dad. Oh, you know, I talked to a guy from a towing company a couple weeks ago, Kathy. He said they don't have room in their towing yard anymore because people can't afford to get their cars. People end up signing the title over. Can I get my license plates? And when I heard some of the rates, even for a regular tow, if you were to call, I'm like, God, thanks God I got Allstate Motor Club. Although they have cut it down. And I hear AAA is cut back too. They raised their price, but they cut back the service. Because back in the day when you had AAA Plus, you got the first 100 miles free. Not no more. Oh, these towing companies nowadays. Ooh, I gotta watch. My neighbor owns one. And I got the window open. Oh, the rates are outrageous. And on an impound, it's even worse. The guy was telling me that basically on a police impound, and let's say 2 days storage, over $500. Neither, if I took the RAV4 and the shitbox together, they're not worth $500. I would just say, hey, can I get my personal effects and my license plates? Here's the title. And then a lot of these places go, well, the car ain't worth, so we want half. I'm going to pay you to keep my car? I don't think so. Oh, Kathy, at the price of copper cable I'd have walked in with a reel. Here. I really wanted to pay in pennies, but I wanted the car back. Oh, some of these places on a police impound are charging like $60 a day storage. Christ, $450 toll plus $60 a day? I could see why their towing yard is full of cars. What did it cost him? Yeah, I thought so. It hit me. I'm a little slow, Kathy. You know, it's not like the day when you were standing next to me in Kaiser Meat and I was going, well, give me a pound of this and a pound of that and 3/4 of a pound of that. No. The brain slows a little bit now. But see, they don't have to accept it. I mean, you could walk in there with $600 in pennies. They don't have to take it, even though it's legal tender. And why piss them off? You're at their mercy. How much did it cost your son, Linda? You gotta remember, Kathy, I'm way older than when we were standing side by side, you know. And I didn't have this. I wasn't allowed. Although, if I put a yarmulke on, I fit right in at the Jewish funeral home. Although I need them curly things. Them jerry curls. I mean, even on like private property tows, there's a sign at my little Indian store, and they have this private property towing. You know, if somebody leaves their car in their lot, they can call. God, like $300 and $50 a day storage. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, I realize, you know, tow trucks are hundreds of thousands of dollars, but yeah, that's Linda. That's the way this towing yard is. The driver told me, rarely does somebody actually drive their car off the lot. And, you know, they force you to give them your keys. Well, what they do in Ohio, they file for an abandoned vehicle. And then the state gives them title. And most of these towing companies have car lots. So they take your car and they sell it. Oh, okay. The formal name. I always call them Jerry curls. I'd look good with a couple of them. So, you know, it's a total ripoff. Because the towing company can set up down the street ABC used cars and make it a buy here, pay here lot. They get the car for free and they sell it to you, no warranty, at a ultra high interest rate. But in Ohio, a towing company can file for an abandoned motor vehicle title. And you figure, if the car wasn't involved in an accident, say it got towed for DUI or suspended license, it's a perfectly good running vehicle. They get a title for it. They send it down the street to their used car lot. They're money ahead. And they have a constant supply of used cars coming in constantly. Oh, well, Linda, then, yeah, it wasn't worth paying to get it out. But if you figure these towing companies, if, say, half of the vehicles come in from DUIs or suspended license or something like that, and they've got the keys, they send it to a detail shop, give it a little spritz, and put it on their used car lot. Oh, definitely, Kathy. Definitely. I mean, it would be nice to have a used car lot with a never-ending supply that you don't have to go to the auto auction to buy. You get the car free. You send it to a detail shop. Detail shop charges them maybe $100 a car. Put it on your used car lot. charge an outrageous price. Well, you charge below market, but you get an outrageous down payment. Because you know damn right well, if people are coming to a buy here, pay here, they ain't got no credit. It's a win-win for them. And I think that's why the storage rate is so outrageously high. Because even at $50 a day, 2 days, $100, 3 days, $150. If you don't get your car out within 1 or 2 days, you're kissing it goodbye. Unless it's, a really decent automobile and you got the money. And for grins, I drove past that. After he told me, I drove past the towing company, and the gates were open, and the lot was wall to wall. They didn't have enough room to put the tow trucks inside. And basically, what a lot of them do, I've heard this before, the girl at the front counter is also a notary. So you turn your title over, she fills in the top, ABC Towing. You sign the title, she notarizes it. Now, the towing company technically bought your car because they're the buyer, ABC. They go to the title bureau and they get a title. Now, they send the car to the detail shop, put it on their used car lot, and they didn't even have to wait the 30 days to file for an abandoned title. Oh yeah, right, Kat, how convenient. You come in with the title, she puts ABC Towing, sign here, seller, sign here, notarize, click. Now, they go to the title bureau, they get a title in their name, and now they own your car for $20 title fee. Talk about a racket. And then I feel sorry for the people that lost the car, who drive past the used car lot and look, gee, that car looks just like our old one. Wait a minute, that is our old one. They want how much? Although if the people are really stupid, they go in and buy their own car back at about 30% interest. I have to look on a buy here, pay here lot. I got to see if they cap the interest. Because I had heard some of them around here were charging like 33%. At that rate, you won't pay it off before it goes bad on you. And the car won't even last as long as the loan. And then what these buy here, pay here lots do, they put GPS locators on your car. So if you quit making the payments, they go out and haul it back in. Although they have to disclose that. When you buy your car from a buy here, pay here, the lot has to disclose there is a GPS locator on your car. If you don't make the payments, don't try hiding it. We're going to find it. And you won't find where we put the GPS locator either. Because they hide them real well. Matter of fact, I heard there's some dealerships around our area that when they sell a used car and you've got shaky credit, they put a GPS locator on the car. And they divulge that, and they tell the finance company, whoever financed you, there's a GPS on the car. If they stop making the payments, we'll tell you where it's at. And they go out, they hook the car. If it's still in pretty decent condition, they clean it up and put it out for sale again. Yeah, Linda, I don't mind somebody making money. But when you're raping me, that's a little different. I mean, I don't begrudge anybody making money. But when you reach in my pants and literally take my wallet, that's a little different. Yeah, I've heard, the stories from the towing companies. Oh, we have overhead to pay. You have overhead to pay. Not me. I don't want to pay your overhead. Although I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to pay his overhead. He's got a couple of tow trucks that are $500,000. One of these days I'm going to ask him, how do you make them payments? Although, see, he doesn't do police towing. He works for like 10 different motor clubs. Not to mention he has a repair garage too. But man, that one tow truck he brought home a couple weeks ago, $550,000. Scared the shit out of me to even touch it. Holy shit. Really, Linda? I hope they didn't get seriously hurt. Well, see, yeah, that's another thing. Most of these, they figure if you got arrested driving the car, then it's safe to drive. I'm sure they don't put it up on a rack and do an inspection and that's why they sell them as is. No warranty. Because they didn't do, a 22-point safety check. They probably changed the oil, put air in the tires, send it to a detail shop. Yep, there we go. Put it on the lot. And like I say, up here, they're cars that people can't afford to bail out. So they send them to a detail shop, make them look pretty. They go to 7-Eleven and buy a couple of them little pine tree air fresheners and hang it in the car and put it on a lot. And the disclaimers are always right in the window. As is, no warranty. And then you have to sign it. Because it's a 2-part form. And then they hand it to you and go, yep, you signed it, as is. If it breaks down the street, sorry. There was a... God, what judge was it? I just watched a case the other day. Oh, it was Judge Middleton. And basically it was a buy here, pay here car lot. As is, no warranty. And the car lot sued the woman because she stopped making payments Well, 2 days after she bought it, the transmission let go. And she quit paying on the car. And unfortunately, Judge Milton said, hey, you bought it as is, no warranty. Sorry, you owe the money. Well, Linda, they were extremely lucky. If that's all that happened, they were extremely lucky. There could have been some real serious injuries. Sounds to me like they were wearing their seatbelts. Yeah, Kathy, the engine had a little blow-by. Had some internal problems. Blowing oil out of the filler cap. They were too stupid. They should have pressure washed the hood, the underside of the hood, and then kept an eye on it. Yeah, had a little internal problem. That same thing. When I would go look at used cars, you take the radiator cap off, okay? And if you start the car and water blows up out of the radiator, blown head gasket, stay away from it. Yeah, you're lucky you didn't buy that one. Whoa. You'd have been paying more than what the car was worth to fix an engine. That's why, you know, dealers will take a lot of their used cars to the auto auction because they all got problems and they just want to get rid of them. Yeah, Linda, if they didn't have seatbelts on, they could have had some real serious broken bones, some nasty injuries there. Yeah, Kathy, you never buy a go fast looking car until you look under the hood. like looking in the horse's mouth, you know. You know, the old, do it shine? Yeah. Do it run? No. You know, I will not start my car until I've got my seatbelt on. And I told this story before. I was never much for wearing the seatbelt, especially when they came out with the new style. I didn't mind a lap belt. I didn't like the shoulder belt. Well, one night I'm coming home with my buddy. We were doing a store reset, and it was a late night. We didn't get out until like 2:30. And Kathy would know. I was down in Akron. So I was coming down 18, getting ready to get on 77. Now, 18 is 50. Until you get to just before 77, and it drops to 40. Well, I even had my fucking radar detector on. Him and I were bullshitting, and all of a sudden the blue lights blinded me. I pull over. I didn't have my seatbelt on. He didn't have his on. I got my hands on the steering wheel, and I'm looking straight ahead. And I put the window down, and I hear this female voice. Good evening, gentlemen. And I turned and looked. And this state trooper, she barely made the height requirements. What a little pixie. She says, didn't you notice the speed change? Evidently not, since you stopped me. Meanwhile, my radar detector is screaming on the dashboard. She goes, it's obvious you didn't pay attention to that either. I reached up, I shut it off. She runs my license. Now, my license was spotless. She comes back and she goes, gee, you know, I noticed neither one of you were wearing your seatbelts. I figure, okay, I'm getting a fucking speeding ticket, and now I'm getting a seatbelt ticket on top of it. And she says, I'll tell you what. If you gentlemen put your seatbelts on, I'll forgive the speeding. You never saw somebody click a belt so fast in your life. Whack! Click! She handed me back my license, registration, insurance, and she drive safe. Ever since that day, I have never started the car before I hear click. Oh, I used to wear the lap belt. I hated that course, over time you get used to the stupid thing. Oh yeah, she could have got me for, well, 10 over, which would have been kind of petty. But yeah, I could have got a speeding ticket, and both of us could have got seatbelt tickets. And I probably would have got a lecture for the fucking radar detector. But I'll tell you what, she was a cutie in a trooper hat. Like I don't know what the height requirements were, but boy, she just barely made it. She probably had lifts in her shoes. Yeah, she walked back up to the car and went, "Gee, I just noticed neither one of you gentlemen are wearing your seatbelts." I'm thinking, fuck. Speeding ticket, seatbelt ticket, there goes my insurance. If you gentlemen buckle your seatbelts, I'll let you go with a warning. Here's your license, here's your papers. Thank you. Drive safe. Oh, I will. Man, at 2 in the morning, them blue lights on them goddamn highway patrol cruisers. Holy shit. They definitely got my attention. Although, I can see why most of the sheriff's departments and state troopers and even some police departments are all blue. Because blue is way more visible than red. And boy, does it get your attention. Got mine. All of a sudden, everything lit up blue. I was like, holy shit. I thought there was more than one cruiser pulling me over. Put both hands on the steering wheel. Put the window down. Never turned my head until I heard that cute little voice. "Good evening, gentlemen." Yeah. License, registration, proof of insurance. I hand her everything, and she goes, "Neither one of you gentlemen would be wanted felons, would you?" "Hell no!" "Just checking." Oh, yeah, I understand. At first, I couldn't, like, they were always red. And then, red and blue. And then, all of a sudden, Ohio Highway Patrol, blue. Well, yeah. Way more visible. And they get your attention, too. Because some people figure, red light, that's only an ambulance, screw it. Them blue lights come on. You know they mean business. And watching all the different state videos, more and more and more departments are going blue. Now Cleveland, they're split. Red on one side, blue on the other. But the state troopers, all blue. I'm not sure with the sheriff. I haven't seen any sheriff's cars lately. But boy, I'll tell you what. That woke me up real fast. And I had to tell my buddy, keep your mouth shut. Because he was the type, a trooper to come out to the door, he'd have started. What the fuck you stopping us for? Lou! I told him, don't open your mouth unless she asks you a question. And be polite. Oh, my buddy, he'd have got us both arrested if he'd have started. He didn't care much for women. Him and his wife, oh, God. Argue. I actually said to him once, why don't the two of you get fucking divorced? It's cheaper this way. Okay. And it didn't help, after work, Lou would tip a few. So, he'd no sooner get on and, oh man, the argument would start. All right, Kathy. Oh, God. Hell, I didn't even want him on the phone, let alone speakerphone. Oh, I told him, as soon as I pulled over, don't open your mouth unless you're asked a question, and then be polite. Oh, he was the type, he'd have got out of the car and started yelling, you ain't got no right to stop us, it's only 10 over. Yeah. We'd have both ended up in handcuffs and my car would have got impounded. Didn't I like this? And then about, I'll say, well, I quit working for the food broker. Yeah, I think it was shortly after that I quit working for that food broker and I went back into the body business. Like a dummy, I missed it. And a couple months later, his wife called and said, Lou died last night. Yeah, come home from the bar. He started an argument. She said the next thing you know, he grabbed his chest and face planted on the floor, and he was gone before the paramedics showed up. Nobody knew he had heart problems. But oh, those two fight, argue, fight, argue. It's cheaper. Okay. I don't want to hear about last night's argument then. It was like automatic. Come home, eat dinner, argue. Every night. I finally told her, I said, quit feeding him. Maybe that's starting the argument. Tell him to go to Burger King. Yeah. They'd no sooner finish eating. She'd do the dishes. Come out and watch TV and the argument would start. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? I'm hanging in there. They're trying to adjust my pain medication and they're fucking killing me. Big order. Oh, you're over medicating. You gotta cut his pain medication by 50%. Yeah, okay, kill me. Otherwise, I'm happy. Yeah. Putting up with the pain, but I'll survive. Hope you're alright. I haven't been dangling in your website lately. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. I have to go in and see if there's anything new on your site. I liked all your music. Oh, I got a kick out of. I listened to every piece of music you put up. Oh my God, I laughed my ass off. How you come up with all that shit? I listened to every single one. I was laughing. My goddamn bladder almost let go. I appreciate that, dear. I'm meeting with the head honcho from pain management at the end of next month. Him and I are going to have a few words. You can't just automatically cut somebody 50% until you talk to the patient. But I'll tell you what. You missed your calling between being an investigative reporter and a music writer. Oh my God. I laughed my ass off. There were some great intros there. Yeah, everybody, you got to go over to Shiz Happens and listen to all the music she composed. Oh, it's hilarious. Although my favorite is Kaiser. Kaiser. You got anything going on? Any lives? I'm not going to try to pop in and I still haven't figured that out. I give up on being on anybody's shows. I don't know what the hell happened. I get the volume and the goddamn camera cuts out. And I was ready for Mayoween. God damn it. I guess I got a year to work the bugs out, though, for next Mayoween. That means I have to buy a new costume. Although I think for Halloween I'll put that one on and wander the neighborhood. Uh-oh, what was that cats and dogs about everything? I missed that. Oh, damn it. I wish I could rewind a chat. I can't read it. Too much of it's cut off. That's what happens. I don't pay attention to the chat and then I miss something. Today I ordered a Chilton's manual for the Passat. Oh, you're really? Mine too. They stayed together for the kids, which made for a rotten home life, especially with both of them being alcoholics. I got up the nerve to ask my mother one day. I said, "Why the hell do you two stay married?" As she put me in a headlock, she told me, "For you kids." Yeah, it made for a goddamn miserable home life. And argue about the stupidest shit. They stayed together for the kids. Would have been a lot more pleasant home life if they'd have fucking got divorced. Oh, I'm damaged. That's why I'm seeing a fucking shrink at 73 years old. Little late now. Of course, I can see the next visit. Tell me again. Every visit. He still can't get over, a boxer and a wrestler. I wish somebody was around that could tell me how they met. I have an idea. Because my mother worked in a restaurant that had a bar. And I think there was a bar fight one night, and my father decked somebody, and my mother went, "Ooh, I think I'd like to marry him." That had to be it. My father knocked the guy out cold, and my mother went, "There's the man of my dreams right there." And she walked over and put him in a headlock and said, "I want your phone number." Well, they probably grew up a lot better than me and my sisters. But that had to be it, Kathy. That had to be it. A bar fight starts, my father knocks everybody out, and my mother walks over and puts him in a headlock and said, "I want to marry you." And while he was choking, okay, here's my phone number. Nobody ever could tell me. But it had to be that way. Either that or one night my father and his buddies went down to the Cleveland Arena and watched wrestling, and my father was like, "Oh, there's one for me right there. The wrestler that just threw the other one out of the ring. I want her." And he jumped in the ring, and she kicked his ass, and he proposed. Nobody could, to this day, I'm still trying to figure out how they had 3 kids. Drink and argue. Well, but you know, it was also a way different time back in the 50s and 60s. Today, CPS would be involved in everything. Not back then. And just about everybody that was in the military were drinkers. There was more than one alcoholic in the neighborhood. And they were all veterans. And of course back then, the VA didn't do shit. Of course, PTSD wasn't even a thing. And like my father refused to go to the VA anyway. Of course, after I found out, what he did, I could understand why he came home so fucked up. Digging graves over in France. That's what he was. Graves registration. They dug graves and buried American soldiers. And they just buried them in body bags. But unfortunately, they had to open the body bags to look at the dog tags. So yeah, I could understand why he came home all fucked up. And why he never talked about the service. Never. And I think that was part of the problem. But back then, different time. Really? Wyatt? I didn't know that. Is that why when he pops in you kind of disappear? I had no idea. Wow. See, Linda, I don't know any, you and Ron are close. I'm not close with any of you except here. So I don't know any of the behind the scenes stories unless somebody tells me. Well, there's a lot I don't know about all of you. Except Kathy. I stood next to her in a meat shop. Maybe bought some donuts at the bakery and she was in front of me, but see, sometimes maybe it's good I don't know nothing. Well, see, like I say, I don't know him except when he pops in, Boy, talk about getting a education here tonight. Holy shit. I mean, mainly, like, we talk about our medical problems. So, I know that much about you, Linda. I know that much about Ron. What I get here, I don't. That's why, everybody, why don't you go on Discord? Why don't you go on Discord? I don't want the drama. I like. Gee, I didn't know that. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Although, maybe I. See, I don't follow her as much as I used to. But see, what you guys want to tell me here is all I know. I don't go in Discord. I don't email back and forth with anybody except for Nomad. Nomad gave me his email address because he made some stuff up for me that I can't figure out how to use. I got it saved, but I can't figure out how to use it. And, what you guys tell me, sometimes I divulge a little more than I should about myself, but hey, like my childhood, I didn't speak about it for years. I'm finally opening up. And you're the only ones that know it. I don't talk to my friends. They have no idea. And that's why I like our little group. Because, like I say, we're sitting around a coffee table talking like a group of friends would. Ron, do I have to come out to Arizona and kick your ass? But I have to come out there in winter. I ain't coming out there in triple digits. Well, I appreciate it, Linda. Like I say, if it wasn't we were on YouTube, it wouldn't go anywhere. But, I mean, to me, we're just a group of friends sitting around drinking coffee and talking about our life. I was only kidding. He knows that. But he's got to stay on schedule. Everything's out of whack. He's got to get. I appreciate it. Yeah, we are. I even told my shrink, I said, hey, I got a group of friends on YouTube. And he looked at me and went, what? explain YouTube. I was like, forget it. I didn't mention, forget it. No, I told him. I said, I do my therapy at night, online. I said, I got a group of friends. He said, well, whatever works. And I'm serious. You guys are the only ones I've ever opened up to about my childhood. I've kept that bottled in for so long. You know, my father thought it was funny if I walked through the room just to, deck me. Like, what the fuck did I do? I just walked in the room. And he thought it was funny. I mean, I know he went through hell over in France. I wouldn't wish that job on anyone. Because when I talked, I had to go down to VA when he died and handle the paperwork. Because, they get the headstone, they get the grave and all that. And that was how I found out what he did during the war. And he went into detail. And he said, yeah, they buried them in body bags. But they had to look at their dog tags, grave registration. All right, so-and-so is in grave 162. And he said, you unzip a body bag and the guy don't have a head. Well, seeing that day after day after day after day after day fucks you up. I understand that. But you don't have kids and take it out on them. And that's what happened. And drinking didn't make the problems go away. Well, I'm glad you guys feel comfortable in here because I appreciate hearing, what you want to tell me. And like Linda, with your health problems, you and I have gone through chemo, and when I make the jokes about it, it ain't a joke. Living with your fucking head, in that porcelain receptacle. The last place you want to stick your face. But at least I can joke about it, And making fun of the phlebotomists, well, except the one I got shipped out.
Are you a sissy?
Yes, I am. Big sissy. When you get two 20 gauges stuck here, you're a sissy when they go to stick you here.
Butterfly.
Although she was good, she didn't even leave a mark. Of course, goddamn veins jump out of my hands. Yet when I told her, I said, she went, "Oh, you do have nice veins." Well, thank you. You want to go out for coffee later? No, I'm over that shit. No more inviting women out for coffee. No. I mean, Linda, you and I go through hell. And back, we have. You're still going through hell. But at least here we can kind of joke about it. And I can always joke about Kathy standing next to me in the meat market. Yeah. That still amazes me. Talk about small world. Unbelievable. There isn't too many days that go by I don't think about that. Like, she could have been standing right next to me or behind me going, "I'm going to beat that asshole. Get done ordering already." Right, Ron? "100% right, buddy." That's like, I haven't even told my sister about this. Cincinnati College of Mortuary Science. Nice thank you letter for, well, I haven't donated yet, but one day. Is Monday the big day, Ron? Is that stent day? Ron, you're going to come out feeling 25 years younger. Just with all that nice blood flow again. Don't sweat it. You're going to wake up and go, "Holy shit, I feel 25 years younger. I think I'll run around the block." Really, Ron, don't sweat it, buddy. I know you've been worried about it, but you are going to feel so much better. Believe me. Oh, Monday, we're all going to be thinking of you. I'm not a big religious person, but believe me, I'll be thinking about you. But you got nothing to worry about. You're in good hands. You're going to wake up and go, wow, man, I should have done this long ago. You know, Ron, you're going to sit back and go, wow, I can get up faster. I can move a little quicker. Believe me, I've got friends that have gone, they've had blockages like you, and they said it was the best thing they ever did. So, and you're in good hands. It's not like I'm going to do it, you know. Of course, if you woke up and saw me looking at you, you'd be like, uh-oh. Yeah. Be there in the operating room and I pull down my mask and go, surprise! No! Don't sweat it, buddy. And I don't want you on here Monday night. Take a rest. Then Tuesday you can tell us all how good you feel. Yeah, but Linda, this is the frosting on the cake. And then he's good. And you're going to feel so much better. Even better than what you feel now. And I know you've been through some shit, buddy. This is a piece of cake to what you had going on up here, man. That would scare the shit out of me. But look how you're doing. Hey, Ron, the nice thing about this is when they're done with me, they ship me back in an urn. All courtesy of the college. It won't cost family nothing. Hey, I ain't gonna be around to see what's going on. Although it would be nice to know that while they're practicing on me, there's some nice little brunette going, oh, he must have been a funny guy. Oh, I forgot to tell you. They want you to write a little synopsis of your life so that each student kind of gets to know the person. Boy, when they read mine, they'll zip the body bag shut. Go, nope. Ain't working on this one. No. Well, I'm happy to hear that, Linda. It's always nice to have a lot of support, you know. But he is going to feel much, much better. Yeah, I couldn't believe that when it said, write a little synopsis about your life so the students get to know you. And I can include a picture of the way I looked before they unzipped the body bag. I figure what I'm going to do, I'm going to park the shitbox and the Passat and the RAV4 and stand in the middle of the three of them and say, this was my life. Right here. My vehicles. And a picture of me with my cat. Kind of interesting the way they do it. But yeah, they want a little synopsis and some pictures. So the students, well, like they say, you're more than just a body, and it gives the students a little more appreciation for the donation. So I have to make sure I have that all printed out in my pictures so that when they ship me down to Cincinnati, it goes with me. Oh, when I watched that memorial service, it made me feel even better. Because during the memorial service, they flash all the pictures of the people on the screen. And some of the students actually got up and talked about it made them feel closer to the person, and they took extra care. Well, I'm not seeing what they're doing. I don't care. Whoops! Oh, I didn't mean to cut there. I'm extremely glad that I did it. Even more so now. I mean, it's nice to know they consider you a person instead of just a number on a tray, you know. Oh, God, could you see that? Yeah, send a thumb drive. Or a hard drive. I've got some external hard drives. Fill one up. That way every day when they're in class, they could play another episode. Yeah. I got a 2 terabyte and a 3 terabyte external hard drive. Ship that along. Just start playing it and go, oh no, we can't, we can't work on him, no. Now, it makes me wonder, how do the other mortuary colleges operate? And you know, my niece, who graduated from there, never mentioned this. Every time she talked about this college, and she raved about it, she never mentioned nothing about the pictures, and I didn't know until I watched the website. And they didn't even know she passed. I told the assistant dean that she passed from COVID, So this year, they're including her in the memorial service. Because nobody bothered to inform the college. Which I don't know why my other niece didn't. I'm going to have to ask her. As a matter of fact, the assistant dean said, boy, we appreciate you even more now. Knowing that you had, a niece that actually, she raved about that college. She loved it. But never told me about getting close to the person you're working on. And then listening to some of the students say, sometime they would hold the person's hand and talk to them. I thought that was kind of nice. Even though I'm not going to be hearing her, Wait until they start dissecting up here. Ugh. Gee, there ain't nothing inside this cranial cavity. We don't understand. As a matter of fact, she never mentioned the donation program. I just thought it would be a good idea. Plus it saves, my son for funeral expense. So they say they average 2 quarters. And then they're back basically done. And then they ship you back in a nice urn. Well, Linda, what makes me feel good is they look at you as basically a live person in a way. You're not just somebody they picked up off the street. You had family and you lived life. Maybe life wasn't the best. Well, nobody knows yet. You guys know. Even he don't know yet. Haven't told nobody. I'm doing it for 2 reasons. 3. First of all, funerals are ridiculous. Even, here's the thing I found out recently. cremations used to be cheap. Then when people started leaning towards cremation, the price went up. So I'm saving that. Second of all, I'm extending education. This body isn't going to just go to waste. Somebody is going to get a good education from my donation. Or more than one. I would tend to think maybe they have a group. And third of all, I ain't going to be around to see what's going on, so but had they not had bodies to work on, my niece would have never got an education. And I am going to be part of the next graduating class. And I would hope whatever group learned from me got a good education. Was an extremely intelligent decision for me to make, and an easy one. I mean, I had always preached I wanted to be cremated. Well, I'm going to get my wish, but I'm also going to be extending education. And finding out that they want to know something about me, even better. The student isn't looking at you as just a cadaver. They're looking at you, somebody that lived a decent life and had some fun, had some good times, bad times. It was a win-win for me. And basically making the donation in my niece's name on top of it. So it's even more of a win-win. Because Cindy was nuts. You had to know Cindy. From like age 9, she wanted to be a mortician. When they had what you want to, be day at school, I could imagine the look on the teacher's face. I want to be a mortician. What? I don't know where she came up with it. And from age 9, that's all she talked about. And then she got her wish. She applied, she got accepted, She graduated in the top 10% of her class. She went on to she moved to Florida, bought a funeral home, and had her and her husband, she married a funeral director too, had a booming business. She was extremely successful until COVID hit. Yeah, we're on job security. Got that right. And her husband still runs the funeral home down in Clearwater. But they got married. They were looking for... They both had some money, you know. They wanted their own business. They didn't want to work for no one. And they lucked out with this funeral home. The guy was retiring. He gave him a good deal. They already had a shitload of, what the hell they call it, pre-planned, pre-arrangements, something. So they had kind of a guaranteed business, and the funeral home was a success, and they were doing great until so I kind of make the donation in her name. But it was an easy choice for me. I don't know what he's going to think and what my little sister's going to think, but too late. Papers are signed. That's the guaranteed return right there. All they'll have to do is make one phone call. And then down to Cincinnati I go. And then 6-8 months later, I'll be back. In a little jar. And he better keep me visible, or I'll kick his ass. Uh-oh. Well, peoples, I think it's that time. We've had a good discussion tonight. And boy, I learned a few things too. Ay. That's right. I'll leave on a stretcher and come back in an urn. I'll be just a little smaller. He'll be able to carry me around. I know, I'm a sick bastard. We know where, right here. Hey, it's been a great night, peoples. At least we had a good laugh. And everybody thanks for being here, and take care tonight. Have a safe night. And we will meet again tomorrow night.